Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We have a fun fold that we'll be doing today. And so today's card is going to feature our hot air balloon stamps and dies. Love these. Our watercolor world background stamp. Our perennial postage dies. And two of our in-color inks, our Pebbled Path and our Wild Wheat. So we are going to get started with all of this fun. The paper that I'll be using today is our Nature's Sweetness paper. So you can see all these fun designs. There's some gold foil, there's some Pebbled Path, Wild Wheat, beautiful foliage, some collage images. Love, love, love this paper. So we will be using this today. And let me clear this and show you the fun card that we're gonna make. So it's a fun fold. So when you get it in the mail, it's gonna look like this. We've got our perennial postage die. I think it looks like a postcard or something, like a vintage postcard with our World of Watercolor background stamp. We've got our paper here. We've got our hot air balloon that we stamped and die cut. If you open it, you can see we've got Wish Big, a place to write. And what's so fun about this is if you pull up on it, it can be a freestanding card. So let me show you the side of it. So it will stand up on its own, just like a fun little easel. So this is what we call a horizontal easel card, and that is what we will be making today. So let's get started. First, we're gonna do our card base. And as always, if you would love the measurements, the step-by-step instructions, or even just the supply list, every Thursday I send out a free PDF tutorial for all of my Buzz Bulletin subscribers. It's totally free, totally printable PDF, and you can look in the description below and sign up for that if you haven't already. You can also find it on my blog at stampinqueenbee.com. All right, so we're gonna first cut our base here. So we're just cutting a regular size base. So we're just cutting our Pebbled Path cardstock in half, and then we're gonna score it at a couple of places. So we're gonna score it at 2 1/8, and then again at 4 1/4. And all of this is on the written tutorial. So we've got those two score lines. Hopefully you can see those. We're gonna cut another piece of our Pebbled Path so that we have one other, we'll call it our front layer piece, card front layer, that's what I called it. Okay, so we're gonna cut that. And then everything else I've already cut for us. So let's get started and put this together. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna bring in some liquid glue. Hey, Ty! We're gonna bring our card base here and we're gonna fold on those score lines. So the first one is just gonna be like in half, like a regular, we're gonna burnish that just like a regular fold. So we've got just our regular card here, right? This second piece, we're gonna fold it back like a Z. So we're gonna make a little Z fold here. So we've got our Z. So just back and forth like a Z. Now we're going to take this piece that we cut, and before I put the actual glue, I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. So we're going to line this up exactly, so corner to corner, corner to corner. We're going to put glue only on this top part here, and this is going to become the front panel of our easel here. That is how that's going to attach. So the easiest way that I have found to do this is to close up our card here. Let's just make sure everything is good and burnished. And we'll take our liquid glue, and we don't want to glue it shut. So we're just going to put our liquid glue on that top piece right there. We're going to take our base here, and we're going to line that up. My glue is a little gushy today. That's okay. We'll get that right off. Okay, so we've got that. Give it a little back rub here. And we'll give that a second to dry, but that is going to be our card base. Pretty cool, right? So I've got a little bit of glue gushing. I put it a little too close to the end. That's okay. Okay, so the next thing, we'll let that sit a second, is I've already pre-cut 2 of our designer series paper. I love this one. It kind of looks like newspaper or like a collage-y kind of print, so I love that. So we've got those pieces. I've got a piece of basic beige, one of my new favorites, and this will be used to where we write our message to our recipient. I've got some basic white to stamp on, and then we've got a basic beige cut out of those perennial postage dies. So I love, love, love these. This is going to be the second biggest one that we used, just like so. And doesn't that look like a stamp or a vintage postcard or something? I love that one. Okay, so we're going to use that, and let's do some stamping while all of that is drying. So I'm going to first bring in, let's do our world first here. So this is our watercolor world background stamp, and yes, it's bigger, so we're just going to line it up how we want on here, just like so. So I'm going to ink this up. I like to ink these big ones up on their back. So I'm going to take my pebbled path here, and we're just going to ink up. Make sure we got all the countries inked, right? Okay, we'll set our pebbled path aside. We're going to put our die cut out. We're going to hold it here, and we are going to just stamp that right down. Press good. Hold it there a second. Lift that up. And there we have our watercolor world print. So isn't it fun? You can see all the little islands and all the little details of that world. Since it's watercolor, it's got that kind of distinctive print to it, right? So we're gonna use that. We'll let that one dry. I'm gonna bring in the scrap of basic white, and we are going to stamp our balloon, our hot air balloon. So the first thing we're gonna do with this is our wild wheat. So the outline is this. We're using the smaller balloon. There's 2 hot air balloons, so we're gonna use a smaller one. And this is 2-step stamping so that we can get all the colors in there. So we'll just go ahead and stamp that first wild wheat down. Then we'll bring our pebbled path back, and we're gonna do the inside. So you can see this is gonna go right on the inside there. So our inside of our balloon. Hey, Avro. Good morning. Well, it might be after. What time is it there? It's later there. morning here. It might be afternoon there. Okay, so we're just gonna line this one up. That's the inside. I love that there's a little bit of white to give us that kind of shadow highlight area. We've got the little basket, so we're gonna stamp that. Sometimes when I'm doing these, I just do a bunch of extra for the next project, right? Since we have the paper here. Okay, so we've got some baskets. And then another thing that I die cut for us was from the hot air balloon die cuts. And there is this great banner. So I love this banner. I think it's so cute. I love that it's curved. It's perfect. So I cut that out, die cut that out of the basic beige. So on that one, we are going to stamp the Wish Big in the pebbled path. So we've got our Wish Big here. Just center that right on. How cute, right? I love the font of that one. Isn't that darling? Okay, so we're done with our pebbled path. I'm gonna bring in our wild wheat here, and I'm also gonna bring in a sponge dauber. So I love our sponge daubers. I have one for every color, and I just label them with the color. I love to keep them in these lipstick holders. So you can find these on Amazon. They just hold lipsticks, but they are the perfect size for our sponge daubers. So I just have all of those. I have a couple of those little lipstick holders in my drawer here, but I have one for each color. And so what we're gonna do with this, you can use them to stamp with. I mean, there are so many things you can do with these sponge daubers. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna kind of distress our postcard postage die cut here. So I'm just going right along the edges here, and it's just giving it that kind of vintagey, distressed, kind of that older paper look, almost like a burnt look type. Just kind of going along so easy. Then I just kind of look at it against the white and see if there's any little bit that needs just a little extra. But I think that looks good. So see how that just kind of distresses it? Actually, let me put it against the grid paper. Probably looks better there. Yeah, so you can see how it just distresses it all along the edge there. So I will put my dauber away. Move our ink to the side, and now we get to put all of this together. So with our balloon pieces, I actually went ahead and die cut those to save some camera time here. So we've got our balloon. You can see as the ink dries, it lightens a bit. And so we've got that. We've got our little basket here ready to go. So let me bring in our card base. We're going to use our liquid glue first to put our 2 designer series paper. See, even this side's pretty, right? It's always the hard choice. Do I use this side or that side? The fix to that is to buy 2 packs of paper, and then you can use both sides of every paper, right? Okay, so we're just gonna center this on that front piece. We're gonna open up our card, and we're gonna put this second. I like to use the same, but you could absolutely use one on the inside and one on the outside. Just make sure they coordinate, because it will show when our card is opened like an easel. There we go. So just put that on. Our writing piece in basic beige, we're just gonna attach that with a bit of glue. And that is just gonna go on the center here. So this is where you could write your message to your recipient. Fun folds are so fun, right? Okay, so look, isn't that fun? The inside is mostly done with our card. Now we are going to use liquid glue to attach our world here. We're just gonna put that right on the center there. We'll just hold that down a second. Make sure it gets good and attached. Perfect, right? Okay, now we've got some dimensionals. I already put these on the back just to save us a second or two. So we'll just peel those off. These are just the edges. And I'm just gonna stick this right. Actually, let me do nope, that's right. Okay, so we're gonna put that. I like to put it kind of to the right, like it's going over the whole world, right? And then one on our little balloon basket. And you can just kind of tuck it right under those little straps. There we go. So they're both on dimensionals, just like that. And then we need what I like to call our bumper piece. So this piece, we're gonna bring in some dimensionals. I'm just gonna put 3 on the back here. Actually, maybe 4. We'll put 4 on the back of there. We're gonna take off our backings here. And this is gonna be our bumper. So this is gonna hold up our easel. So you wanna kind of look at it before you attach it. If you put it too low here, it's not really gonna hold your easel up. So you wanna kind of hold your easel with one hand and then kind of see where you want this. And then make sure it's centered, of course, from left to right. And I just kind of set it there before I push it down. And that looks good. So we'll push that. And then that becomes like a little bumper for this edge of our easel. And there we have our easel card. So simple, but oh my gosh, your recipients are so wowed when they get these in the mail or if you hand them to them. Of course, we need a little bling. It's not a card without some bling. And so today we're gonna use the textured dots. So these, I love them because they are a beautiful color, kind of a brassy gold. They really take on whatever you're using. But I love the little texture on them. They're great for masculine cards. They're great for any cards. I think they really go well with Pebbled Path and Wild Wheat. So we're gonna take, first off, 3 of these and put them on the front. So we've got one there, a medium one here, and then they come in 3 sizes on here. That's fun too. And then one up in the corner. And because we have our bumper here, this is raised up, so we can actually put a couple on the inside as well. So that is what we're gonna do. Put 2 down on the inside here. So those are our textured dots. And they're not real raised up either. So they're great because they're a little bit flatter of an embellishment. So there you have our easel card. Wish big. This could go for any occasion, right? This could be a graduation card. This could be a birthday card. Any kind of thing, right? And then you'll open it up. You can have your message inside. You could even put another panel on the back here if you wanted to write a bigger message. But what a fun card. I shared this with my team a week ago and they loved it. So I said I have to share it with you all too. So remember our supply list, PDF with step-by-step instructions, and all the measurements and everything will go out tomorrow if you are subscribed to our weekly Buzz Bulletin. And if not, you can go on my blog at stampinqueenbee.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're joining me live or if you're watching the replay, I absolutely appreciate you. And if you can make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, it helps us grow. And make sure you share it with all of your crafty friends too. Thanks so much. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Bye-bye.